Hello and what is going on, lovely people of the internet? It is Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today we're going to be talking about Bbig stock, Vinco Ventures, and we're going to be talking about how shorts actually add synthetic short interest into the stock. So when you see that 25% short interest figure on Ortex, know that there are plenty of ways for short sellers to get exposure to the downside of Bbig through the derivatives market. And we're going to be going over what exactly they did yesterday, fighting different call strike prices, because we know that there was a gamma squeeze going on yesterday. So there was a lot of pushback from short sellers who had no ammo, because guys, remember, utilization is at 100% on Bbig stock, so there are barely any shares available to be shorted. But these short sellers are finding ways to get exposure to the downside of Bbig without actually shorting a stock, so the utilization can stay at 100%, and short sellers will still be able to find ways to pin down the stock. So specifically, we're going to be going over how deep in the money put options affect the price of an underlying security, and we're going to be looking at yesterday, 10/15/2021, the expiration date, because that is the perfect example of a day where it is very, very important for the short sellers to use these derivatives in order to pin it under a certain strike price so they don't have to deliver these shares through the call option. So let's just get right into the chart. Here we have Bbig. I have those three lines on the chart. Those are three different strike prices. So right off the bat, you're going to see the $9 strike price, the $8.50 strike price, and the $8 strike price, which is being hidden just a little bit right there. But if we're just looking at the long-term trend, we're in an uptrend, clear uptrend. We're bouncing off that 25 moving average very, very nicely. And if we're just looking at what Bbig stock has to do in order to keep this uptrend intact, I added a little extension here of the 25 moving average. We're gonna hope for at opening bell that Bbig is at $8.40. That is very, very manageable. We were there just this past day, so we're gonna have to have a good pre-market on Monday in order to keep that uptrend intact. It likely will dip a little bit below the 25 moving average, and that's okay as well. If you guys wanted to check out this charting software, I'm going to throw the promotion on the screen right now. It's WeBull Desktop. It's an amazing application, and if you use the link below in the description or in the pinned comments section, you can get up to $300 in free stock just for opening an account with WeBull and downloading this software. Again, this software is amazing for technical analysis and just charting stocks and following the stock market, so I definitely recommend everyone at least opens an account. But they're also giving away an additional $2,000 if you deposit any amount of money on their platform, so even $1. This promotion is only going through the end of October, so act quickly. The link's in the description and pin comment section down below, and let's get right back into it. So if we're looking at Ortex numbers alone, we only have the return shares number, aka the short covering number for the boxed region. We don't have Thursday or Friday as of yet because of T+2 settlement. So if we take a look at Ortex, we only have the numbers again from Wednesday and Tuesday, and there was a lot of positive price action, so there should have been at least some short covering, but the data is not backing that up. There was only about 127,000 shares returned as of yesterday, so that would be reflecting Wednesday, and even less were returned the days before. And if we do look at Fintel, which we're not going to do right now, there are barely any shares available to be shorted for short sellers. So short sellers have run out of ammo in the actual share department. You can also see that the utilization is right here at 99.98%. So there are literally zero shares available for short sellers to short. But what are short sellers doing? They're not just going to give up here. They're going to fight back by using derivatives of the stock. So right here, we're back on Unusual Whales, and we're taking a look at some of the put options that were purchased yesterday on 10/15. And we're going to be looking at the timing as well as the premium on these put options. So right here, we have October 15th as the day we're looking at. We're looking at a minimum premium of about $10,000 or more. So this would only reflect whales, big money, or potentially hedge funds. And we're looking at ask side only as well as bearish only. So we're looking at only straight buying of put options. If you look at the chart, the most popular expiration date is January 21st, 2021. And why this is important is because bears are expecting that this is just a hyped up rally and that BBIG stock will die by January 21st, 2021. So if you really do want to screw over bears, it's very important that the price of BBIG stays up by January 21st, 2022. Then you can see the strike prices that are the most popular, and it's the $24 strike price. Last time I checked, BBIG is an $8 stock. So the $24 strike price for a put option is very, very deep in the money. So when this is combined with the January 21st, 2022 expiration date, as well as a very deep in the money put option, this is essentially giving the put buyer exposure to being short a certain number of BBIG stocks without adding on some of the additional risks that come with options such as time decay and IV crush. And then the next two highest traded strike prices were the $20 strike price as well as the $15 strike price. So it is very, very apparent that these put buyers are going very deep in the money and they're planning very, very far out. And there's a very, very different story when you look at the call options, because call options are pricing in a quick move while put options are pricing in a long move to the downside. So if these markets are correctly, there should be a lot of upside in BBIG in the near term, but in the long term it should decay to a very low amount if these whales are correct. So coming back to the beginning of the day, we're just going to look for some anomalies. So right here you guys can see at 10:08 there was heavy put buying at the $20 strike price and January 22 expiration. If we go back to the chart, we can look for 10:08 a.m. and as you guys can see right here at 10:08 a.m. BBIG was right around $9 per share, which is a strike price that had lots of open interest in call options, meaning that if BBIG closed the day above $9 per share, thousands and thousands of shares would have had to be delivered to buyers of those call options. And we saw this heavy put buying at that $20 strike price January 2022 right at 10:08 a.m. where we saw a reversal in BBIG. It bounced right down off of that $9 strike price. So even though there are no short shares available to be shorted, short sellers are using deep in the money put options to drive down the price of BBIG stock when there is a serious inflection point. And like I said yesterday, if BBIG did get a serious push above $9 per share, there would have been an additional gamma push, an additional gamma squeeze, which would have sent the price of BBIG a lot higher than $9 per share. So this $9 was a serious inflection point, and it did definitely have an effect on the stock price where it closed yesterday. It should have been a lot higher if short sellers couldn't use these puts to drive down the price at that serious inflection point. So you could also see that at 10:50 a.m. there was also tons and tons of open interest in the January 2022 put options with a 2024 strike price. So right at 10:50, BBIG was right at this 200 moving average where it did actually see a bounce and start trending to the upside. Now if short sellers were successfully able to push BBIG down below that 200 moving average, it could have seen more downside risk. And right here we could have potentially seen a cross in the 200 moving average and the 25 moving average, which would have pushed BBIG into a downtrend for the day. They weren't successful, but it could have happened. We also see heavy put buying right here at 11:17 a.m. So we're going to have to go back in the chart and see for ourselves. So right here, it's the same thing that really was going on at 10:50 a.m. They were right at that 200 moving average and they were trying to push down the price so that it would turn into a downtrend for the day. 13:35, we also saw heavy buying. And as you guys can see, this was right after lunch and BBIG was rallying to a second high of the day, quickly approaching back to that $9 per share strike price. And by hammering in those put options, they were able to reverse the trend back into a downtrend. Now notice how the premiums here do not really exceed 50,000. There was one premium right here that exceeded 50,000. But at 14:43, we saw more heavy put buying, and this was in the tune of 28,000, 156,000, and 196,000 of premium. So this was a lot more premium than we saw earlier in the day. And if we go to 14:43 on the chart, this is exactly where the 200 moving average and the 25 moving average crossed. So they were really trying to hammer down that downtrend, and they were successful. BBIG did enter a downtrend going back to $8 per share. And the last put buy of the day was at 15:33. It was by a floor trader and it had $1.8 million in premium. And as you guys can see right here on the chart at 1533, BBIG was at one of its lowest points of the day at $8.06 per share, and the floor trader was clearly trying to push it down below the $8 strike price so even less shares would be delivered to call buyers. And they were just trying to make all of these call option contracts, these blue horizontal lines on the chart, they wanted all of them to expire worthless, and they were unsuccessful, but they were successful in getting the $8.50 and the $9 strike prices to expire worthless on yesterday's trading date. So this way of hiding short interest is visible to the retail investor, but there are plenty of ways that short sellers hide short interest through different types of algorithms, whether it's in the dark pools, high frequency trading, and stuff that is not just apparent to the retail investor. So this is what we see. Imagine all the stuff that's going on that we do not see. And it's pretty wild how they're timing this artificial short interest at key inflection points throughout the day. The most obvious one being at 10:08 a.m. when BBIG was at $9 per share, which would have put the $8 strike price, the $8.50 strike price, and the $9 strike price all in the money and added an additional gamma push into BBIG stock throughout the day yesterday, and they were able to reverse that through these deep in the money put options. It's messed up, guys. There's absolutely no shares available to be shorted. The utilization is at a 100%, yet they're finding synthetic ways to add short interest to the stock so that longs don't get rewarded the way that they should. And this is something that really does need to change in the stock market. Anyways, I think I delivered you guys my point. It's messed up how they're doing this. Deep in the money put options are a way of adding short interest as well as short in the money call options, so selling in the money call options. These are two ways that short sellers add short interest synthetically to a stock, and it's just messed up. Anyways, guys, that's about it for the video. Like the video if you guys learned something today, subscribe to the channel for more, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a beat here on this channel. I'm going to be signing off for now. If you guys did want to use the charting software that I've been using throughout the video, they're doing a promotion, WeBull desktop, up to $300 just for making an account with them, and up to $2,000 in addition if you deposit any money on their platform. So it's definitely worth checking out. The links in the description or in the pinned comment section down below. And that's about it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will be seeing you guys later. Peace.